Hi all, it's Brendan and I'm going to do 30 days of Solidity. This will be day 5 for admin only. As with the previous ones, I have already copied into Remix the description of the challenge and a basic empty smart contract. Now, what this task is to have a smart contract where you have a user, which is a particular account address, that can perform certain functions which are not able to be performed by anyone else. So that's the main idea. The more specific idea is that there's this thing called treasure, which is just numbers, an amount of things, and they can be allocated to each user by the owner only, right? And then that can be added and withdrawn, but note that there's no actual currency, no actual cryptocurrency being traded here or transferred into a smart contract or out of it. These are just shifting numbers around, right? That I had a sneak peek at the next one, which is the piggy bank smart contract task. That's for day 6, and that's where we'll introduce actual currency transfers. So let's begin. So in terms of state, I will need an owner and also a mapping for treasure. Make that a bit bigger. Mapping address to event 256 public treasure, and the constructor will set the owner, so whoever deploys a smart contract automatically gets owner. Constructor owner is equal to msg.sender. So that means the sender of the deployment transaction becomes the owner. Alright, so now I will have two functions, add treasure, right, public only owner, and I'll come back to only owner later, right, that will be a modifier, and I will also have another function, withdraw treasure. I'm just sort of planning it out now. This is not yet developed code. Public, and this one can be done by anyone. There's no only owner. So public is a function visibility modifier, and only owner is a function modifier that will be custom defined, right? It doesn't come with Solidity. Modifier, and that's how we'll declare it, only owner. And so what this does is it says execute. So this is now valid, right? So only owner means this will execute, and then the rest of the function will execute, right, where the underscore is applied. But it becomes useful, and it's most typically used in order to run require statements and basically gatekeep, meaning add treasure is only able to be called if this require statement passes, and then the rest of it can execute. So if I do require msg.sender equals owner, so that means that only when the account whose address is stored under owner calls this add treasure function, only that will allow further execution to proceed. So only owner is allowed to perform this action. Alright, the next thing is when we do add treasure, we want only owner to be able to call it and specify both the recipient and the amount, right? So address, recipient, and the event 256, amount. And for withdrawal, we only want U256 amount, and it is expected to be called by the recipient. So this one will increment the value for a particular address in the treasure mapping, and this one will decrement it. Right, so treasure msg.sender oh wait, no, this wouldn't be message.sender, this would be recipient, right? Message.sender in this case is always going to be the owner. Recipient plus equals amount. Copy that, and here we'll paste the same thing. Now, in this case, it will be message.sender, and this will be a decrement. So the recipient will have their treasure mapping value incremented by the amount, and it's only possible for the owner to do so. And any account, if they have a treasure balance, they can call withdraw treasure, and that amount will be, the specified amount will be decremented. Now, this works, but I think we need a few more require statements, right? So one of the things is we do not want the owner to be able to add a treasure for themselves, right? The owner needs to be separate from the accounts that are receiving and withdrawing the treasure. So it's like not included, right? So let's do that. Recipient equals to owner. For self. And for withdrawals, we need to ensure that recipient is not the owner as well. Although I guess that's redundant, right? So let's an amount check. So require that treasure sender is more than or equal to amounts. So unable to withdraw more treasure than allowance, right? So this treasure stores the allowed amount, and if the amount that's requested is less than that amount, then it gets to go ahead. However, if it's the other way around, then it's not allowed to go ahead. And I think that should do it. That should do it. All right, so we'll check that it's compiled. Yep. And then we will deploy Alright, so we have add treasure and withdraw treasure and treasure for an address. So the admin account is the one that deployed it, which is 88. Alright, so I'm gonna copy this address, copy account, and press recipient and amount at 1, and then I'm going to switch back to the owner or the admin account, right? Admin only account, and then I press transact, and that goes through, right? Now let's query how much treasure that same account has, right? We're expecting the same value back, 111. Now let's say I allocate even more, right? So I allocate 2 to 2 this time, and so now I'm expecting it to increase. This time it will be 333. There we go. Alright, now let's try hitting the edge, one of the edge cases. Right, so I'm going to go to this 5e3. It's not an admin account, and I'm going to try and add an additional amount of treasure for myself, and then I'll say revert. Only owner is allowed to perform this transaction, showing the modifier in action. Now let's try to withdraw. Right, so I'm this account, and I have a treasure amount of 333. If I try to withdraw, say 222, that should allow me, right? And now my balance of treasure is 111. Let's say I decide to withdraw 222 again, press transact, and it gets reverted, saying unable to withdraw more treasure than allowance because I have a balance of 111 and I'm trying to withdraw 222, which is more than that. Yeah, okay, so that demonstrates that edge case as well. All right, and that's it for today. Thank you very much for listening.